Hey, what up everybody? Steviebreech coming to you. One of my favorite things to do to make videos on this channel is, going back and reminiscing about meeting wrestlers in the past and giving my story, because a lot of people out there live in places where, a lot of wrestlers don't go to like independent shows, or they don't get to travel to like a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam that has, an access session, or any kind of shows like that. So, it sort of gets to, get that fire burning inside you to make that big trip so you could, have that interaction with one of your favorite wrestlers from along the way. Or maybe if you go to a small independent show, it's maybe not a wrestler that you're a big, huge fan of, but at least somebody that you've been on TV and you can have that experience. Recently, heard that there's a show where Vader's going to be 2 hours from my house, and I'm debating if I'm going to go. One of my friends on here, I don't know if he really wants me putting him out on blast that he's going to be wrestling on this show, but he's going to be on this show, so I was sort of, it's on my plate of things that I really want to get done. I wasn't really going to go to meet Vader, but I'll go to support my buddy. And so if I can get the day off, that's definitely where I'm heading. In the next 2 weeks, I'm going to a show out in Newark, California, out in the Bay Area. It's probably about 45 minutes to an hour, I'd say, away from my house. I've done one video on it before, but one of the wrestlers that I'm going to be meeting from buying the super ticket there is Shelton Benjamin, a member of the world's greatest tag team for WWE and Ring of Honor. I think a lot of people can remember the feud that was brewed up over $20, and a lot of people are sending me comments on my video talking about meeting him, that Shelton's going to remember who I am, basically from the feud between me and Ravi, and him and Charlie Haas. And in my mind, I really don't think he's going to remember, but if I go back to WrestleMania 28, one wrestler, when you make these videos on YouTube, you think that mainly just people like you were gonna, see these things, but every once in a while something happens, and a wrestler will see your videos. I know, like, the Young Bucks, they comment on Twitter all the time about watching videos where people talk about them, putting them down and stuff like that, and they pretty much call them idiots. But, what was it, probably 2 years ago, at least, maybe, when Matt Hardy was still, it had been around WrestleMania 26 time, because it was after that he got fired. He really took YouTube and Twitter to the next level. He started running it as sort of like his own little place to run promos, I guess you can say, create his own storyline. I think everybody can remember Matthew Hardy, the guy that liked to eat grapes and everything like that. And basically, there was a point when I felt that he was trying to get fired from WWE. It was sort of a slap in the face to people like me who were his fans. And I was a big, huge fan of Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. One of the shows I went to in like 98, 99, it was the first show I ever sat front row in. You can see me sitting there wearing my Jeff Hardy, well, no, not Jeff Hardy, but it's the Hardy Boys Hardy Extreme t-shirt. Probably one of the first t-shirts they came out with in WWE. And I thought they were hot shit. I loved those guys. And I was one of those people that when they split up, I was one of the guys that really supported Matt more than Jeff. I just really liked his style. I felt like Matt was a better wrestler. I felt like he delivered more when it came to promos, and he had a deeper character behind him. Jeff was the guy that jumped off the top ropes and did all his things, but Matt was the guy who really worked the match, and when they needed to, he was the guy who sold and set up for the hot tag to Jeff all the time. Basically, it's one of the most popular videos on my channel. It was the first one to ever get sort of like, it was the first one that ever got put on NoDQ.com. Is Matt Hardy is a worthless piece of trash. I believe it's what it's called. It was followed up by the LeBron James is a worthless piece of trash video. But I made a good string of videos on Matt, and just all of his dumb decisions coming from trying to get fired, finally getting fired, basically not caring about the fans. I think everybody can remember the video where we all thought that he was going to commit suicide. He took it way past anything. But even going through that and everything like that, when my videos started getting put up on NoDQ.com, I noticed it was funny by using the search format and looking at the tweets that people were sending Matt Hardy, people were actually linking him my video because it was up on NoDQ.com, trying to let him know that somebody out there was calling him a worthless piece of trash. Like he was going to come out and he was going to answer me on Twitter and start some major feud. I don't know, but there are fans out there that will link wrestlers' videos if you say bad things about them. I found out through that way. But late that night, Matt Hardy sent me a direct message, basically saying that it was all an angle that he was setting up with him and Vince McMahon and WWE, and it was going to run to a you know, it was going to come to fruition, and he was going to be a bigger star than ever before. Coming out of his words and going into my own words, more than likely, something that would come along with his sort of reality-based angle that was ran between him, Edge, and Lita, I guess is what he was thinking was going to happen. Basically, he lied to me because he got fired. He went to go work for TNA, and that was it. That's what happened. I don't know if that's what he thought was going to happen at the time, but I think everybody knows that he was having a lot of troubles at the time. Basically, long story comes to an end. I don't want to run over the whole feud, or not really feud. I don't think he really gave a shit about me, except for the few times that I sent him a message, saying, this is why I am unhappy with you, because I felt like I was a fan, getting treated bad. One thing led to another. Wrestler Reunion was in Miami for WrestleMania 28. We were heading over there, and he was one of the talents that was going to be there. And even though I was that guy who put up 10, 12 videos on the guy saying that I hated the guy, like I said before, I was still a fan of him, and I was able to throw down, I believe, $30 or something like that for a picture on an autograph to meet the guy, because honestly, when it boils down to it, I wouldn't have cared, and I wouldn't have been so mad at this guy if I wasn't a fan of his, if I wasn't the guy that bought his DVDs, bought his t-shirts, subscribed to his website that he had, and, basically just, when you're a fan and you put stuff into a wrestler like this, it's almost like buying stock in a guy. And, when he gets released to WWE, it's like a shock to you, and it's, it sucks because you put so much into it. But when the guy himself is going out and, trying to get himself fired, so that he can go to TNA, which is like a second, rate company in my book at the time, and, rot away to nothing, it made no sense to me, and I felt like I had wasted everything that I had put into this guy, and, I don't really have another way to describe it. It just sucked. But basically, I came down to Wrestle Reunion. I put my money up on the table, said, Matt, that I would like to meet him. I have footage up on there. It might be hard to find. I know the video is called Meeting Matt Hardy. Extreme Nick 09, I was lucky enough that he filmed it for me. I didn't know anybody was filming, but he was just, I believe he was meeting Matt after me, or, something like that. But as I was going up there, I was playing it nonchalant because I didn't want to be the one guy who was all like, "Yo, you know me from YouTube," because I don't really think of people really watching my videos in the long run, especially wrestlers like Matt Hardy, who in my mind is a star, and he has star power behind him, and he's a good dude when it comes around. But he was really nice, really personable to everybody that I met to in line. By this time, he wasn't working for TNA anymore, and his girlfriend was taking him under his wing, and he hadn't been in trouble in a good little while. And I think that he had gone through a stint of WWE rehab, if I can remember right. Just anything that's ever happened to this guy, to turn his life around, I really credit to his girlfriend, Rebby Sky, who I don't really hear a whole lot about anymore. On the independent scene, I don't know if maybe her stock has risen to the peak that it can be at, but there was a long run that of time when people thought that she was going to get picked up by WWE or TNA. But as I was meeting him, I was trying to play it off, trying to play it nonchalant. I had a magazine that I was bringing to Wrestle Reunion to get signed, but somehow in the night of no sleep, I forgot to bring my stuff with me to the show. I forgot to put it in the car. I remember we were heading down the street. It was the same day as that big triathlon in Miami that Batista was a part in, that a lot of people thought that he was in Miami to be for WWE, but he was really just running in this race. And competing, and that's the reason why he was there. That slowed everybody down to traffic. And I remember that we had been away from the hotel for about 20 to 25 minutes, but we were only a mile away. But I didn't want to make us any later than it was, so I didn't turn around to go back and get the stuff. So I just had him sign my encyclopedia. He is a real nice dude when it comes to it face to face. I didn't really feel like it was an act. It was just like when I met his brother Jeff. He just was a really cool dude. I know there was a good point of his life when he was, sort of hopped up and messed up, and from all I can see with him working through Ring of Honor, I haven't heard one bad thing about him, working all these independent dates or anything like that. He's not posting stupid videos up in there. So in my mind, I think he is really turned his life around, and I really do appreciate that as a guy that is being a fan of his. I know that he sort of found his niche in Ring of Honor, and it looks like he's actually going to be, in the hunt, I guess you can say, somewhere around the title. Not sure if they're really going to put him on, put the title on him or not, but, I never really thought that they would put the title on a tag team wrestler like one of the Briscoes. Either. So, I mean, like, he could have his day in Ring of Honor, which, it would be really cool for him to, have one of those last, big moments. I wouldn't mind if he found a spot to go back to TNA. TNA might be able to make him an actual sort of a superstar again, I guess you can say. Not like a true main eventer, but he could find that main event slot. WWE is the one place that I really wish that he really would go. I don't think he could really... I don't really want to see this guy like winning matches on pay-per-views and stuff like that, but he's a guy that could go in there like they've done with 1,000 guys before. Like, if you can remember Tonka's last run or Animal's last run, where he just was the guy that was there to help the boys in the locker room and have good matches with these guys to help get them over. Sort of like a supporting talent. When I was at Wrestle Reunion, people tried to point him out to me. Point me out to him, I guess you could say. I was wearing the t-shirt that my buddy Josh made for me that said, I made CM Punk a motherfucking superstar. Look at his shirt. I think it was Ravi that was saying that. It was somebody in my group as I was, walking up to him to take the picture. And he said that it was a good shirt, and he thought it was funny. Much like all the wrestlers I've met when I've been wearing it. It's been a while since I wore that shirt. I can't remember, but thanks Molly. I really appreciate the shirt. It was pretty cool to have something like that, on a shirt. But it wasn't until I sent him the picture on Twitter. I was trying to put everything behind him. I sent him a little message saying that it was awesome to meet him. I was glad that his life was turning around, and he sent me a message back saying that he honestly knew who I was, and he appreciated me meeting him and being in good spirits, not trying to make anything out of, something that was nothing. And I don't think I was really going to, challenge him to a fight or call him out in front of everybody there. I don't know, honestly, pretty embarrassed to cause a scene like that. But, I just wanted to meet a wrestler that I was a fan of. And I felt like, he honestly gave it back to me. So many times you see stories of wrestlers just being dicks to the people that were there at the same Wrestle Reunion. When Jake Roberts was doing his little fundraiser to help fund his surgery, I couldn't give money to Jake Roberts. Even though he probably wasn't in the best of mindset at that event. Yeah, when Ravi went to go meet him, Assault and Battery 777. He didn't even stop his conversation that he was having with somebody to meet Ravi. He just sort of signed the figure, slid it back, and I guess took the ticket from him, which is $20, and I'm not sure what Ravi was really looking for, but most of the time when you meet these wrestlers, you want to at least talk to them for like the minute or 2 minutes. Wrestle Reunion, WrestleCon, stuff like that, you actually get some more time with them to put it over. But I honestly was happy that I got to meet Matt Hardy. I honestly wish I would have brought my item to get it signed, but there'll be another time I get to meet him. Last year he came and did a show at the same place I'm going to in 2 weeks in Newark, but it happened to fall on Mother's Day. Shitty planning by their book, but my wife said that she much rather would have had me at home than go to the show, so, she won that one. But I'm sure there'll be another time he'll do another California tour, or he'll be somewhere, the same place I am, and I'll get to meet him, and it'll be a good thing. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. This is a little bit longer than they normally are, but Stevie Breech and Matt Hardy. Good times. Peace out, guys.